You are listening to Bedtime Dreamy Tales. Please make sure you have smashed that like button and subscribe to our channel for new story. Story title, Sleeping Beauty. Once upon a time in a far-off kingdom, where pink stone palaces glistened under the sun and gray glass shimmered like the surface of a still lake, a king and a queen reigned with kindness and grace. Despite their wealth and the love of their people, a sorrow lingered in their hearts, for they longed for a child. Every morning, the king and queen would stroll through the vast royal gardens, their voices a soft murmur against the croaking of the royal frogs by the lily-covered lake. It was during one such walk, on a day filled with the fragrance of blooming jasmine, that the queen, her heart heavy with unshed tears, whispered her wish to the morning breeze. Unbeknownst to her, a magical frog, a guardian of the royal family's fate, overheard her plea. With a croak louder than thunder on a clear day, the frog spoke, "Your wish shall be granted, O gracious queen. Before the next spring unfurls its green, a daughter shall be born unto you." True to the frog's prophecy, a year later, the queen gave birth to a baby girl named Marianne. The king, overflowing with happiness, declared a grand celebration to mark the arrival of the new princess. The palace buzzed with preparations, flags fluttered atop the spires, and tables groaned under dishes that were a feast for the senses. However, in his joy, the king made a grave error. He invited only 12 of the 13 fairies in the land, forgetting the 13th, a reclusive fairy known for her powers over fate. On the night of the celebration, the 12 invited fairies arrived, each bestowing gifts of beauty, wit, grace, and fortune upon the young Marianne. But as the 12th fairy was about to speak, the great doors of the hall slammed open with a gust that extinguished all candles. Clad in a gown of sparkling black, the uninvited 13th fairy stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with unspoken grievances. With a voice that echoed off the walls, she cursed. On her 15th birthday, Princess Marianne will prick her finger on a rose thorn and succumb to a sleep of death. With these ominous words, she vanished, leaving behind a pall of dread. But hope fluttered weakly as the last fairy, who had yet to give her gift, altered the curse softly. The princess shall not die, but sleep for 100 years, only to be awakened by true love's first kiss. As Marianne grew, each of her days was a testament to the gifts she had received. Her laughter filled the halls, her wisdom became known far and wide, and her kindness touched the hearts of all who knew her. Yet, the curse was a shadow that loomed large, a whispered dread that threaded through the happiest of times. On the eve of her 15th birthday, as the castle prepared for the celebration, curiosity led Marianne to an ancient part of the palace. An old door creaked open to reveal a forgotten chamber where a single rose, red as the sunset and untouched by time, bloomed defiantly in a dusty window. Drawn by its beauty, Marianne reached out, and as her finger brushed a thorn, she fell into a deep sleep. The curse pulsed through the castle, casting every living being into slumber, and nature overtook the palace with a thicket of roses, shielding it from the outside world. Decades turned to a century as many attempted to breach the rose barrier. Noble knights, daring princes, and even intrepid adventurers failed, their efforts futile against the enchanted brambles. Then came Prince Julian, a young man with a spirit as indomitable as his heart was kind. Hearing the legend from a blacksmith in a nearby village, he felt a pull towards the sleeping beauty and the cursed kingdom. Armed with nothing but his courage and a love for tales of yore, Julian approached the thorny barricade. As if recognizing his true heart, the roses parted before him, allowing him passage. Inside, he found the palace asleep, caught in a moment of time. Following the whispers of fate, Julian climbed the tower where Marianne lay. Overwhelmed by her serene beauty, he bent down and kissed her gently. At his touch, Marianne awoke, her eyes meeting his with recognition of the love that had transcended time. Together, they walked down to the courtyard, where the kingdom stirred from its long slumber, the curse finally broken. The kingdom rejoiced, and soon, a wedding was celebrated, not just for a day, but for 3, full of joy and laughter. And so, Prince Julian and Princess Marianne, bonded by destiny and a love that defeated time itself, lived happily ever after, their story becoming a legend of love, hope, and the magic of believing in happy endings. If you like the story, please give this video a like. For more stories, go to bedtimedreamytales.com. See you in the next story.